Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Sania Farooqui show. Joining us today, we have a journalist from Canada, Kiran Nazish. She's the founding director of the Coalition of Women in Journalism, a worldwide support organization for women journalists. Kiran is a longtime journalist and has worked as a war correspondent covering Middle East, South Asia, and Mexico, among many places. She's also a distinguished professor at Brandon University in Canada. You've been covering conflict zones in South Asia and the Middle East for nearly 2 decades. What led you to become a war correspondent, and how has your experience been, and how has the world changed over the years that you've covered conflict?
For a couple of years, terrorism kind of became my beat. So I covered Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria. Eventually I covered Mexico, which is very different, drug cartels and stuff. But yeah, I think that the industry has changed a lot since then. I think our generation, so I started my career somewhere around 1999, 2000, was like December 1999, so approximately 2000. And right after 9/11 happens, and the news industry itself was kind of transforming.
In 2017, you decided to go ahead and form the Coalition for Women in Journalism, and it was the first nonprofit to provide mentorship to women journalists in Western and non-Western countries. Tell us a little about your organization.
I started reaching out to other women who were senior. Before that, I had been at the New York Times, and some of my colleagues who were, 20 years ahead of me in the career had Pulitzer Prizes. I'm talking about women in one of the best newsrooms in the world. And I spoke to them and I was like, how did you guys do this? And everyone said that we had to do it on our own. We did not have mentors. Mentors were for the men. But yeah, I think that journalism has become less safer for journalists. It's, just fewer and fewer resources, fewer and fewer bureaus means less, systems of support for journalists who are covering conflict. Or any foreign countries.
Coming to what's happening in Afghanistan with all the reports of journalists and government officials and citizens of the country fleeing, and your organization has been helping and has rescued over 80 journalists and women's rights activists and others from Afghanistan. Tell us a little about how that is going.
A lot has changed, and I don't want to say that it is safe for journalists in Afghanistan, under Taliban. So I just want to, make sure that doesn't mean in the beginning, whatever happened was different. I think we still fear that journalists will be targeted and are being targeted by the Taliban. We have a lot of reports from women journalists who are being targeted in Kabul and other places.